today I'm very happy. This song is from Liberia. It talks about the political history of Liberia. Very beautiful song, composed around 1980 to 1985. It tells you about the history of Liberia. It was by a man called Robert Toe, T-O-E. This is one of the most creative propaganda songs of all time. The country woman you see, so Lashibo soldier, from 1847 to 1980. Listen well, I will explain. Sergeant came to power, 1980. Soldier become minister, soldier become congressman, soldier become ambassador, soldier become superintendent. How you doing? We are gentlemen. Oh, how you doing? We are gentlemen. Oh, how you doing? We are gentlemen. Oh, how you doing? We are gentlemen. So this song was, composed around 1980 to 1985 when when Samuel Doe took over from Liberia's long running elite of leaders. So Samuel Doe was a native Liberian citizen who was in the army, and they had a lot of resentment because the ruling class were of the American-Liberian, group of people, and they had ruled Liberia from 1947 until 1980 when the military took over. So until then, this song means that the military began to, get the recognition and respect from 1980 because a member of the military had become the president. The military, which was not respected by the elites. That's why he said, "Who born soldier?" So he's telling you that the natives born were mostly the soldiers who were doing the buga buga job, and Bella woman born soldier, Crew woman born soldier. These are the tribes in Liberia. I'm telling you, this is one of the biggest, the best propaganda songs of all time. So he's telling the people that they are the parents of the regular soldiers who are now the rulers of Liberia. They are gentlemen. They are not just stupid people, as he said. From 1947 to 1980, people said soldiers were stupid, foolish men. People said soldiers were local men, like local, primitive men. But 1980, Samuel Doe changed the whole system and ensured that soldiers take the leadership of Liberia. We are gentle people. Soldier man be gentleman. Listen to the song again. It's full of history. Liberia has had a very, and that was the, I don't know what people call the beginning of the troubles of Liberia, because when Liberia hadn't had any civil war until 1980, when the military took over and the old system was abolished. So it led to one thing. 10 years later, Samuel Doe himself was killed. And let me tell you something about when Samuel Doe took over. When he took over, all the elites, all the ministers of the old administration, I think I think he's called Tolbert, he ensured that all of them were All the powerful ministers were killed in 1980 when he took over. He tried them, you know, a public trial, and after that he lined them up and shot them at the firing squad. Some people said soldiers were policemen. Other people said soldiers were local men. But when Master Sergeant Doe came to power in 1980, soldier became minister. Soldier became a council member. Soldier became an ambassador. It was not a thing of, you know, the day for Liberia when that soldiers will assume such high positions. So soldiers all of a sudden became the new gentlemen of Liberia, the people who were not respected. You know, that is why I like these kind of songs. They tell you the history, they give you the context, and it makes you understand what was happening at a particular era, in a particular era. So 1980, from 1847. Man, I became interested in Liberian history because I had a friend in junior high school who was from Liberia. So we had a lot of conversations about, they were refugees from Liberia. So we had a lot of conversations about Liberia, and that is how come I became very interested in Liberian history. Liberia is a very interesting country. We have a lot of tribes, and also, you know, local indigenous tribes, and also people who came from America. You know, the African Americans at a point in time were being sent back to Africa. The slaves who were freed were being sent to Africa to, you know, to be resettled, and most of them were sent to Liberia. And they became the ruling class for Liberia because they were the most educated group of people, and they formed the ruling class. They ruled Liberia for more than 100 years, while the natives were their subordinates. As he said, people thought the soldiers were foolish men. They were being ordered to go and, you know, do stuff, but, you know, they didn't really assume leadership positions until they got fed up and also assumed leadership positions. Liberia is a very interesting country. First of all, people still argue that the natives felt they were not being treated well by the upper class, you know, by the ex-slaves and their descendants. I watched a documentary that one of the sons of Tolbert, one of Tolbert's sons, was asked about, you know, about his perception about leadership and all that, and he was very, very, very pompous, and, you know, he thought they were born to rule the others, you know, and that God sent them to be rulers and all that. And, you know, if you watch it as an ordinary person, you get angry at him. That man was to succeed his father as president of Liberia, but his father, the president, he died, and I think he too was captured later by Samodo's army and executed. So, you know, that is a lesson to all of us that, you know, nobody is destined to be nobody is destined, or no group of people are destined to be leaders and others be servants forever. You know, things can change. You know, when things change, because there was a lot of hatred for him, he was captured and killed by the military, and that is how life is. we have to know that things can change in life, so we don't become so comfortable and so pompous and so full of pride that we think we are the God's chosen people to be leaders and to lord over others. And this man apparently was controlling a chunk of Liberia's wealth, this young man, and thought he was the high apparat to the throne. See, this is a lesson. And also the aftermath of this coup was that in 1990 by then Samodo had also become a dictator, and other people wanted to get rid of him. So Samodo was fighting a lot of rebel groups, and one of the rebel groups led by Prince Johnson captured him and also killed him. So those who live by the sword may also die by the sword. It's also a lesson to us. He came to power, captured the ruling elites, the president and his ministers, and shot them. Samodo also had friends in the army. One called there's one that was very popular. He was his friend, very popular. He was called a strong man, but he had a name, and he was very admired by the citizens. There was a time that that man was accused of being anti-government, and he fled to another region of the country. Later on, he joined a group of coup makers, and they tried to capture the seat of government, and they were captured. They were captured at the radio station, and they were killed. In a very brutal way. So Samodo also had his share of brutalities, and in the end he was captured by Prince Johnson. Prince Johnson is still alive and killed. Prince Johnson had a few days up there as head of state, and he was also driven away by Charles Taylor's forces. And later on, Charles Taylor became the head of state. Ruled for some time, and also had his issues with other rebels and other rebel forces, and they also got rid of him. And Liberia came under Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, and she also ruled for some time before George Weah became the president. Then also did his 5 years before Wakai, the new head of state. So that's the history of Liberia. I mean the recent history of Liberia from 1980, from 1847 to 2024. Sorry. So we are gentlemen. Who born soldier mama? Who born soldier oh mama? Who born soldier mama? Who born soldier oh mama? Now she born a soldier. Now she born a soldier. From 1847 to 1980. From 1847 to 1980. Some people say soldier be foolish man. Other people say soldier be local man. But when after sergeant came to power, 1980, soldier become minister. Soldier becomes superintendent. Soldier becomes ambassador. Soldier becomes superintendent. How we doing? We are gentlemen. Oh, how we going? We are gentlemen. Oh, how we going? We are gentlemen. Soldier man, we are gentlemen. This song sounds like Echo to Bravo, you know, the rhythm. It's very beautiful. Sounds like Ghanaian high life music. We are gentlemen. 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 We are gentle people. We are gentlemen. We are gentle people. We are gentlemen. We are gentle people. We are gentlemen. We are gentlemen.